When did you think you would make it as a rock star?
Well, when I was 12, like when I was 12, I was already playing in bands. So when I was 12 years old, I started playing, and I was playing in bands with guys that were like 18 years old. And my dad would drive me to shows, and we'd be going to the Whisky and the Roxy and all the spots you hear of in LA. So right then and there, I knew I didn't think I was going to make it. I fucking knew I was going to make it. You know, I had nothing. There was nothing else that even came to my mind as what I would do when I played drums. And that was such a great thing to have. Like, and even through my life, making it or not making it, like I knew I was a drummer from like the beginning. At an early age, I knew I was a drummer. Like, and it's great to know what you are. If anybody would ever come up to me and ask me, like, you know, what do you do? What would you classify? It's always a drummer. Every time I'm a drummer. Everything else is secondary to drummer. I'm a fucking rock and roll drummer. And I think having that is such a fucking advantage, especially with like the way things, you know, I see kids nowadays, they don't know what they are, dude. And I think that's why they're all a lot, dude, not me. I knew 100% I was a drummer, you know?
Having direction in that, because it's so funny, because I know a lot of musicians that never made it and they just like dabbled in every direction. If someone were to actually ask me what instrument do I play, like for a band that I would be able to sit down and play with anybody,
yeah,
bass. I'm a great bass player.
Yeah,
I'm a hack on guitar, and I cheat like a motherfucker on drums.
Yeah, and people don't realize how necessary and how important a bass player is.
Yeah,
all your favorite bands. Every band that you would put in the top of the list of your favorite bands, they all have a great bass player. They all have that one thing in common. It's like, this seems like the hardest to find and the most important. And I don't think there's a ton of great bass players out there. Look, in the music industry, like, of course, the top dogs, yeah, there's a ton of them. But your average guy that just plays music for fun and stuff like that, he's the bass player because the band already had two guitar players.
You want to know something funny?
Yeah. That's how you became a bass player?
Well, yeah, sort of. The other day, I was actually sitting right there, and I was looking at this Les Paul that I bought, and I was like, I don't want to play guitar in a band because I would get just fucking eaten alive these days. And I was like, it's like, man, but I want to play in a band.
Currently, right now, you feel that way?
I felt like this, like not too long ago, maybe 5 or 6 months ago, and I was sitting right here, and I texted Tim. And I go, hey, you know, and it was like one of those things where it was like, if I'm going to, because, you know, if I want to play in a band, I want to play in an established band that's already traveling. Yeah. Like I don't have, I can,
I'm not going all the way back to that.
Well, it's not even that though. It's like I have time. I can do what I want to do.
Did I have to go back to the very beginning?
Well, I don't think I paid my dues in music to be able to do that, but I've built relationships.
Yeah.
And I'm confident as a bass player, even though I haven't picked up a bass in 10 years, but I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I got good stage presence. So I called Tim. I was like, well, Tim's probably looking for some musicians.
Yeah. You need any low end, my man?
Yeah.
Hey, man, can I interest you in some low end?
Yeah. And it's funny because we had talked about starting a project before, and I was like, what if he like actually needs a bass player right now? And now I'm all of a sudden the bass player massively dying.
That'd be a big jump, dude.
It would be a big jump.
It'd be a big jump, yeah.
And he texted me back and he goes, can you sing as good as this guy?
Yeah.
And he sent me a video of a dude that was doing like a Whitney Houston cover, metal dude, and the guy's voice was like angelic. And I was like, no, I guess I can't.
Yeah.
When did the bass player have to sing?
Yeah, it's part of it. You got to be a jack of all trades nowadays. Dude.
Yeah,
you know
I could stay right in the pocket for you.
Yeah,
and I could look fucking badass. You know, physically, I might
hit
look
a grave digger. Can you know what a grave digger is?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Can you hit a grave digger?
I can hit a grave digger.
Can you spin it up?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, dude, yeah, I know how to get it tightened up. I know how to do the wood glue with the toothpicks, jam them in, break them off, screw longer screws in. Yeah. I know how to do all. If I go to watch a metal band and the bass player doesn't do a grave digger and never sends that bass for a ride all the way around. Well, yeah, but you got to go backwards with the bass. You go this direction.
Either it doesn't matter which direction. That if he doesn't move, if I don't see that happen in a metal band, I'm out. I'm not even listening, dude.
Well, that's
Unless of course it's like Iron Maiden,
and it's only cool too if you sling it low too. Like if your bass is below your belt buckle and you can fucking send it,
but not too low. Robert Trujillo goes too low, huh?
Yeah. He's too low.
That's too much low end. Dude.
That's too much low end.
But what I was talking to you about before we started here is early recordings. And having some of that stuff around. So I'll tell you a quick story. I had almost all my recordings throughout like my career, which to everybody else, they don't mean shit, but it's nice to go back and like listen to where you came from and listen to your stuff. I had on like a first or second generation iPod, and I had it in my car. Somebody broke into my truck and they stole it. Right. So my first mistake was getting the police involved. I'm like, hey, I call the cops. Like, hey, somebody stole my shit, And so these guys, they're worthless, dude. I don't know if you've ever had to use the cops. I have a new policy. I don't ever call the cops for nothing. I don't care what's going on. I'll figure it out myself, dude. These guys are yahoos.
Like going straight vigilante?
Dude, they just don't give a fuck, and they're
no. I mean, is that the route that you would go? Are you going to knock? You're going to knock on?
I'm going to get to that. So
okay,
I'm getting to that part of the story. So they do basically nothing, and it was stolen at the same time as a newer iPod was stolen, which had the tracking device thing on it, basically where you could track my iPod, right? So I tracked it to like down towards like the ghetto part of like where I live. There is a ghetto side of town, like. They built it for like the inmates' wives back in the day, and that's where that's where all the low income people live. So I tracked it down to that side of town. So I go down there, and I knew exactly where it was, and it tells you, it's so accurate. It tells you exactly where the shit is, right? So I again decide to involve the police. At this point, I hadn't learned my lesson the first time, and they go, "Yo, my stuff is right there. It's in that fucking room right there. I got it all tracked out or whatever." And for no reason at all, they just knock on the door of somebody else's apartment, and then this girl answers the door in crutches, and her dog goes running out the door, and now the dog's running around in circles. There's two cops down there chasing this dog around. Like, you could have played the fucking Benny Hill theme song. Like, these guys are just now chasing this dog around while the girl's hopping around on crutches trying to get the dog. I'm like, what are you guys doing? I told you where it is, right?
Yeah.
Long story short, they finally get the dog wrangled up, get the girl back, put back in her house. I tell them, go ahead, guys, I'll handle this. And I just go up there and knock on the door, like, you guys got my iPod? She's like, yeah, we bought it off somebody. I'm like, no, you didn't. Your son probably fucking stole it. So I get the iPod back, but it's not the one that has all those recordings. It was the one that I could track, and the old school one was missing. So I lost, like, I was in some metal bands that were like, I feel like at the time we're like way ahead of our time. Like, people weren't ready for the kind of metal we were playing back then. Like, it was more that sludge metal, like, just almost like had some blues elements to it. Like, it was almost like, it had a little Sabbath to it, which
a little more stoner rock.
It was it was like stoner rock, but it was more like extreme alcoholic rock.
Okay.
But it's just really good stuff. And so there's a whole bunch of recordings and stuff like that I just completely lost, which, it sucks because, again, those are the times at those times you still, again, I'm like 18, 19. I'm still thinking like music is going to be something of it, but nonetheless, it would have been great to still have that shit. You know what I mean? So.
Totally. It's funny because when you're in the moment, like then you have these albums and stuff, you don't like. I never thought to be nostalgic with it. You know, I think my mom once, one of our, maybe it was my mom or one of my band members' moms, took one of our EPs or demos or something and had it like framed for us and like, took like the artwork and framed it separate with the CD. And I think that's somewhere, but all my stuff that's like, that I had to like have uploaded to my iTunes. I had to like call old band members that I hadn't talked to in 20 years. Like, hey, you got that Lola EP?
Do those guys still play, or everybody's giving it up?
So my first like hardcore band that we played good shows, Lola, John is he plays some country stuff and he still puts out music. I think he's living in Montana now.
Okay.
And he's like on a ranch and stuff like that.
Well, so. When you're talking about being back in a band again, I think you would find out really quickly that you might not want to do that, dude. I just think like when you're a kid, it's like one thing. Like, I don't know, we're about the same age, right?
Yeah.
So I'm 44 now. And the idea of loading my drums up at night to go play a show nowadays, like, I would rather do almost anything. Like, dude, by the time you get sound check, dude, I'm tired by the time sound check is done.
Right.
I'm ready to shut it down. You know what I mean? So right now, what my band does is just benefits for the troops a couple times a year, and they fly us out to do that stuff. And that for me is perfect, dude. But other than that, I play Huey Lewis covers in my house on my electric kit and just watch the missus just dance around, dude. You know what I'm saying? You guys can't see that off camera, but she's naked dancing around. Oh. And that's really the ultimate goal with me playing drums, was to get girls naked.
That's what's going on. Oh, well,
yeah, I mean, the reason to play drums,
you have a private setting now.
I hate when people act like they're all like, the music is the most important thing. Bro, getting chicks naked is the most important thing. Let's not bullshit or sugarcoat this thing.
Yeah.
Right? Let's get these chicks naked.
You once told me that my career was over because you made fun of me for a Morgan Wallen comment that I made.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, have you ever been to a Morgan Wallen show?
I have friends that have gone, dude, and they tell me I'm wrong about that too. You're not the only one.
Yeah. It's funny though. It wasn't your band. It was just like in general. I've gone to some of the shows of my friends' bands.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of drunk fat guys.
Yeah. There's no, well, look,
you go to a Morgan Wallen show and it's a sea of blondes.
Yeah. Yeah. He's doing it right. He is doing it right. He's found the recipe. He did find the recipe. So I get that. Look, I played metal for a lot of years, and I remember at a certain point looking around and going like, there's no chicks here, dude.
It's bad.
There's zero chicks here. And I thought, it was fun to do. And I liked that kind of style of music for a while. And I've always been like a rock and roll dude. But my current band plays kind of a country rock type of thing. And there's significantly more girls. When we used to play regularly, there was significantly more chicks at shows like that. And I mean, that's really what it's all about. I mean, I think this is where you're going with it, is that's where a Morgan Wallen makes a lot of sense, dude.
Yeah, all the ball cap country guys.
These guys are doing it, dude.
They're doing it right.
Part of me is bitter. That's really why I talk shit about guys like that. Yeah, dude, I'm admittedly a super bitter human being when it comes to shit like that. Like, I told you that I pretty much thought I was going to make it as a musician. And when I didn't and other people did, that's why a guy like Jelly Roll infuriates me. I'm like, dude, if somebody fat with bad tattoos is going to be famous, it should be me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have all the makings for a Jelly Roll and I sing just as good as he does.
Do you?
And, oh, dude, I'll show you. And I encourage anybody to look it up. My fucking song Pound Town. I got a pop country song called Pound Town that is one of the greatest songs ever written. I don't sing great, but neither does Jelly Roll. I sing as good.
I saw something the other night. He sounded pretty damn good.
As good as Jelly Roll. I've seen him do an Ozzy Osbourne cover that made me probably.
What song did he cover?
Ozzy wish he died much earlier while he was listening to it. I mean, it was bad. He did the Mama I'm Coming Home song. And it was that's a
mountain of a song.
Well, listen, you can either sing or you can't. You know what I'm saying? You either got it or you don't. Now, that being said, though, as a person, I get why people like Jelly Roll. He seems fucking cool.
He's really cool.
He seems fucking cool.
He's a really cool guy.
I think maybe that's part of what makes me even madder.
He's lost some weight.
And that's great. I love it. But I preferred him fat because I like talking shit on him being fat. That's one thing that I love about losing weight is talking shit on fat people. It's one of my favorite things.
Well, let's kind of get into that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, well, dive in. Go ahead. Let's dive into it, dude.
Finding out a lot about yourself as you go through this transformation. You've lost weight before, but this time around, it's quite a bit different. And I know the feeling.
Yeah.
What's the biggest eye-opening deal other than that you feel like you're ahead of Jelly Roll and everything in life?
Well, I would like to just point out quickly, even being fat, I still made fun of fat people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know a lot of fat guys that make fun of fat people.
Yeah, I've always fat shamed, even as a fat guy. No matter how fat I got, one of the most pleasurable things is somebody fatter walking into the room. And I mean, I'm a fat guy, and I would love seeing a fatter guy walk in, and I go, "Ooh, that poor fat bastard." You know what I'm saying? Like, and that still brings a smile to my face, and I think you can tell this is genuine happiness right now.
Like you let yourself go more.
What do you let myself go more?
Like that's how you feel towards them.
Well, what I feel like is that if there's somebody in the room fatter than me, then I could almost fit in with the fit guys.
Is that
That's
right?
how fat this guy is.
Yeah. Okay.
No, back to your question. The time I've lost weight a bunch of times. You know what I mean? That's also been part of my downfall is because I've done it so many times. Every time I would put it back on, I would convince myself like, oh, dude, I've done it before. I'll just do it again. It's easy. This is easy.
Yep.
I've done it. I can do it again. But what you don't realize is like, as you age, things change. As dudes, and you get it too, when you like try to lose weight, your body doesn't want to be fat. You know that. Your body's not designed to be fat. So as soon as you start doing some of the right shit, as a guy, the weight just falls off initially. Yeah. I mean, bro, like women can't, they always trip because it's like they're trying their asses off and it's not the same for them. And a dude just like, dude, you can just cut out soda and guys can lose like 30 pounds or whatever. You know what I mean? For me, I never was a soda drinker. I'm a beer drinker. But yeah, so I've lost weight in multiple different ways. The first time I lost weight, I had a pretty crazy accident. And broke my back, and a bunch of different shit happened, and I was getting ready to go in for like a surgery, and every doctor of course wants to do surgery. They love it. That's how they make money. So I had this just one doctor that was just like, let's just try. Why don't you try losing weight first? At the time I hadn't even gotten. I wasn't 400 pounds. I was like maybe 380 pounds. He's like, why don't you try losing weight, and then we'll see where you're at. Because he's like, I can do surgery, but it doesn't mean you're going to be out of pain. You're just whatever. So at the time I was so fucked up I couldn't do much. So I just swam, and I was such a bad swimmer, dude. I just wear a snorkel. I'd put like a snorkel in, and I'd swim. And I just went on like a fucking pretty much like a crash diet. Like I just ate the same thing every day, like chicken, veggies, eggs, every day I lived, dude. And I got down to like 220 pounds. So from 380 to 220, just swimming and, eating right. And
do you have pictures of yourself at 220?
I have them. I'm sure they're somewhere, but I didn't have, I don't think even iPhones were around then. So I don't know where I'm not sure where they would be, But yeah, I was down to like 220 pounds. I was wearing like an extra large shirt. I was down to like I think a 36 in pants, and so I did it at that time. And then same as almost every time, once you start to lose some weight, now you start to get some action from the ladies. You're back out at the bars, start to add some booze in, and it sends you down that road. So this has happened like 5 different times for me. So I think what's different this time feels much more permanent, right? This time I didn't lose weight quickly. Every other time, dude, I lost weight super fast, and then I was right back to partying. So I never had time to really like change my mindset. All I knew is my body had changed, and I was still the same guy that wanted to now get back out and get it on.
Yeah.
So this time, because it's taken so long, and that I think is really a great part of it. It's taken me a really long time to do it, but in that time, I haven't fully ever flipped this. I've never stopped going to the gym. Although sometimes the diet would, waver a little bit. I never stopped being at the gym, and the consistency there, keeps you, kind of going. So this time I think the most important thing is, and this is just, I think recently, getting locked back in with you in my fucking nutrition, man. It's learning how to eat the right way. That is something I never really learned. Yeah, I could just stop eating stuff. I have the willpower to just stop altogether. But then you're fighting constantly, like waiting for that time where you can kind of get back to what you used to do, right?
Willpower is honestly, it's so funny because I think we used to look at willpower as such a positive thing. And when you really learn about willpower, you find out that when it's framed the right way, willpower is a fucking nasty thing. Willpower is not a positive thing. Willpower is the same as motivation. It fades, it's fleeting, it goes away. There's nothing backing it. It's white knuckling. It's the same as a drinker. Like I tell drinkers all the time, like dog, like you cannot willpower your way out of a problem that you have, a shitty relationship with a substance. The same way you cannot willpower your way out of a shitty relationship with food. You can't willpower your way out of a shitty relationship with a woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't. It always goes back to the same thing, or you start attracting the same thing over and over again. It's all about doing real work. And unfortunately, willpower is looked at as such a positive by people because it is in fact a shortcut, right?
It's not sustainable most times.
No, it's not. Nothing that's a shortcut is sustainable.
Right.
So instead, with diet, and what allowed me to keep the weight off for over a decade now, and not only that, but achieve my dream body to the point that I fucking cry when I see myself in the mirror, and I tear up and I think about the little fat boy that always wished that I had abs and pecs and muscles and like my pants fit me like they fit the mannequin, right? Like
not having to shop in the fucking big and tall,
right? Yeah, not wearing like elastic bands, not having my underwear fucking the bands crease around from the fat roll.
Not everybody knows that, bro. Not everybody knows that happens,
right?
Yeah.
Yep. When you go to put your sock on and you grab it like this and you go to pull your leg over and you bust your heel out of your sock, not because you're pulling too hard, but because that leverage and friction had pulled your sock fucking and ripped it. Like that shit. Breaking a sweat when I would tie my boots.
That's what I was going to say next is this, dude, fucking heavy breathing and breaking it. Like for me, what's been the craziest, and I don't know if you were ever this big, because since I met you, I was 450 when I first met you. Mm-hmm. So 450, I'm almost out of the threes right now. I'm in the low threes. So, but I used to have to go to a restaurant And even if we're like with a group, I'm the only guy that's got to be like, hey, do you have a chair with no armrest?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And dude, it is what it is. Like, I mean, look, I'm not trying to give this fucking crazy sob story. Like, I had a pretty fucking good setup. I had a good life. Like, my life was fucking cool. It was just neglect on myself, not like taking the time to get myself right. So it's not like, oh, fucking poor me, I had to get a chair with no armrest. But it is also kind of like fucked up to be like, hey, I'm so fat, I need a fucking chair with no armrest. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
I've learned to frame it two ways. Okay. One, I learned to frame it the way we talked about in the gym, where it's like my most elite self, the version of myself that I wish that I was or that I'm trying to become, that I am manifesting, does not eat, drink, or do those things, right? Mm-hmm. It's below me. Mm-hmm. It's below that man. The other way I frame it, and this is the oldest saying in the weight loss book, but I framed it in my head in such a way that that I've had it make sense, especially as I achieved certain milestones in weight loss and growing a physique. Nothing tastes as good as being fit feels.
Yeah, you hear that a lot. I hear that a lot from people that are fit, and they say that. But they've never had my mom's meatloaf.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I've never had your mom's meatloaf.
Hey, it's fucking good, dude. Susie's meatloaf's out of this world. No, I'm just kidding. But I know what you mean. I know what you mean by it.
It's such a cliche, but
it doesn't mean that you can't do those things either. You can still do those things. You can't do those things all the time. Like, the person that you are at the core has to be what you're talking about. The person that you are, 99.9% of the time has to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't mean you can't fucking, throw in a something here or there, but that could still be part of who you are if you don't fucking make it an everyday thing.
You want to know something though? I don't teach that, and you know that I don't coach restriction.
You're all the way in.
But I live my life restricted.
I mean, I don't know. We had a pretty fucking badass lunch today. That doesn't feel restricted. If you do it the right way, it doesn't feel restricted.
Well, right, because those are the meals that I designed into my own meal plan.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that's where most people are lacking. They have this idea that you have to cut out all the fucking things you like, and you don't. You don't have to do it. You just have to use them the right way. I think. You know what I mean?
And again, and I'll coach and tell people, like, listen, if you want to have ice cream, have ice cream. If you want to have pizza. If you want to do that stuff, like, we just got to account for it and make it make sense. For myself,
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
I think most people find it doesn't make sense for them either once they get going.
Yeah.
That shit you thought you needed, you really don't need. A lot of that shit is boredom. You're fucking bored. You're chilling. So you fucking go grab the ice cream, or it's something to kill time. Ordering the ice cream. It's almost like we were talking about with buying automobiles and buying toys. Mm-hmm. Some of it is killing the time. So the shopping is the fun. The going to get the food and the fucking thinking about what you're going to get. You've just killed now 2 hours, maybe almost up to 2 hours by the time you actually get the food. It's a boredom thing. But you'll find once you get into the rhythm of filling your time with activity, and that the food is just the fuel you need to get you through that shit. So again, all this stuff sounds like that cheesy cliche stuff, but I am living it now in the last 4 weeks that I know it works and it makes sense to be that way. I used to call eating for sport.
Yep. Another thing too is I did do something a while back, and I did it with a couple different things. And I don't share this very often. I've shared it on a couple podcasts, but I did some NLP work. And I did something called swish pattern interruption. And I did it with sugar. And I was hesitant to do it with sugar because I was like, do I still want to enjoy a dessert here and there? Or do I still want to? And one morning I called my guy who does NLP, and I bit the bullet and I said, let's do it with sugar.
What's your go-to, bro? What's your go-to?
Cookies.
Any cookie?
Yeah.
Not crumble though, right?
I can fuck up some crumble.
It's a trash cookie. I've had better cookies from Albertsons. Go ahead. Fuck crumble. Is crumble sponsor the show?
No.
Okay, fuck them.
Yeah, fuck crumble. Yeah. I'll still fuck up some crumble. But no, after having him do pattern interruption on my sugar compulsions,
yeah.
It's gone away.
So you don't crave the cookies anymore?
Mm-mm.
Mine was always ice cream, bro.
It's ice cream.
I'm an ice cream guy, dude. I fucking tear up some.
Well, it's like sugar of any kind.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, I didn't really care for like candies though. Like you can be like, you could have a fucking candy bar and be like, yeah, whatever.
No, candy bars not doing anything. It's got to be something prepared.
Even cookies, even a cookie. You know what I like? Next level. I'm gonna take a cookie, put the fucking ice cream in between it.
Ice cream sandwich it. So,
bro, white chocolate macadamia nut with a fucking.
Yeah,
that's it, bro. You know what I'm talking about, dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was my kind of shit right there. But I found, and this is what's even was a trip to me because I never thought I would get to the point where I don't even really crave it. But I don't right now. I don't really crave it at all. You know, and I haven't had I already started before we locked back in again. I was already kind of cutting stuff out because I knew something needed to change. And so I've been almost 2 months, maybe more than that, without any fucking ice cream, cookie, none of that shit. So I was already kind of like laying the groundwork before we kicked our, the program all the way in. I was already kind of like starting to cut stuff out, and I had already cut the booze out. Booze trigger all that shit for me though too. I drink a couple of beers, and people will be trip on this, but I'll fucking drink like 6 Sam Adams and a brownie sundae, and some people would be like, "That sounds crazy," but it's
not really, because the beer is going to go straight into sugar, and then that's going to
craving more sugar.
Yeah, and that was tough for me to give up sugar as an alcoholic, right? Because a lot of times alcoholics quit drinking and then they get obsessed with sugar.
You got to fill it with something. I noticed guys.
Well, it's not even the addiction part. It's literally like our bodies crave sugar when we give up alcohol.
It's like the most addicting thing, right? They say. I know guys that I've seen guys get like some weight loss results from like using nicotine pouches.
I use nicotine,
and they, you know what I mean? And then it's an appetite suppressant. And then, with that,
well, not to mention it's also a nootropic. And yeah, I mean, I don't usually do it on camera, but yeah, I vape, I do Zins.
I don't do it. I never use it. I think I have like a nicotine allergy on some level, so I don't fuck with it, but
it fucks you up.
But I've seen guys get like really good, like they lose a bunch of weight because they just stopped eating and started putting the pouch in every
that's
time.
Not an answer to anything.
No, I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying that for some, I think it's better than being obese.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'd take that over. It's a short-term answer to get to stop some of the cravings, maybe.
But so I just think though, but I think that in terms of craving and in terms of, especially with sugar, it's that like this is a mindset change that has to happen for you to get sustainable and for you to sustain not even sustainable, but for you to just keep the fucking weight off. And then there's a difference between like a sustainable diet and getting to where you want to be in terms of the actual fat and weight loss and staying there. And that's why it's like when I deal with big dudes and being a big guy who's been able to, one, you take all the weight off without drugs or surgery, 2, be able to keep it off for a very long period of time, 3, be able to change my diet enough times for me to be able to achieve a physique that kind of demands respect. I mean, not trying to like toot my own horn or anything, but I fucking built my body up and maintained it and continued to not plateau and to continue to grow it without taking drugs and shit like that. Like it's something that I've had to rewire my thinking.
Yeah.
And so when I look at other coaches and when I hear the empathy cries and the sympathy cries and the, oh, it's okay, you don't have to be so restrictive, you don't have to do that. You're right. You don't have to be restrictive. But to me, it's not restrictive. There's no desire anymore. People will say to me like, you never have a cookie, you never do any of that. And I'm like, you don't get it. It's not that I like hold myself back and restrict myself from having the cookie. I don't fucking want it anymore.
That's the weird part. That's the weird part that I 100% get where you're coming from.
But when you're first but I'm saying like to sustain that mindset.
Yeah. Forever,
right?
Kind of thing.
Forever is something that is a lot of manifestation. It's a lot of like dwelling on that person who eating that way would be a little bit beneath you. And a lot of my friends that I'm very close with are that way too, where they're like, why would I eat like that?
Well, you have to surround yourself with the type of people though that are going to live a somewhat similar sort of setup too.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%. But that's I guess the point is like it's not a matter of like dogging people who do eat like that. It's not a matter of like holding yourself to it like whatever. It's getting to the point. It's the same as alcohol. Why do I not drink? I don't drink because I'm an alcoholic. That's not why I don't drink anymore. I don't drink because I know that I won't be able to turn alcohol off. I don't drink because why the fuck would I? I like who I am when I'm sober.
Yeah, well, it's tough to want to drink when you start feeling really good too. It's really tough and it's tough to want to change the way when you start to operate well off your nutrition and your workout program, and you're feeling good all the time. It's hard to implement anything because you don't want to fucking change that feeling. And I don't know if that's what you feel, but that's right now. That's where I am.
Yeah,
is because I'm maybe still a little much earlier in it. It's like why would I want to mess with this? Like, I feel too good to fuck with it right now, you know. Like I was at a work event yesterday. Everybody's drinking, and my wife was like, "Was that tough for you to be around everybody drinking and not drinking?" It was weird because it was probably one of the first times ever that it wasn't tough at all. Like it didn't bother me at all. And I think part of me thought like my jokes won't fire as hard if I don't have a couple of beers in me. But dude, I was crushing it. I was telling jokes like left and right.
Yeah, I think that's a muscle that you're going to grow to over time. And you will get, and I think the more you do it, you'll get to the point where like, even like your wife will even recognize like, it's not that, that Dave's not drinking, right? It's that Dave doesn't drink.
Yeah.
Why would he? Right. That's where it's gotten with me. Like to me, like when I go to an event and I know a lot of people are drinking, it's not like, oh man, there's going to be a lot of people drinking there. It's like, oh, cool. Like you don't even think about it.
See, that's what I wonder if I'll ever get to that point. Though.
You will.
I wonder if I will, because I know right now, like I'm committed to like trying like a full year of no booze. And some of it isn't even just about like a fitness thing. Like some of it is like, I just want, I was at a point right now where I was like recently drinking so much. I just want to make sure I'm still the boss. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to feel controlled by something. So I'm like, you know, part of it is like, hey, I've done this before where I've taken a year off of different stuff, you know, drugs, alcohol, whatever it is. And it's my way of just making sure I'm still in charge, you know? So that's part of it. But I wonder if I'll ever get to the point where I'm just, because in my mind, I go, oh, I'm taking a year off. That's where my mind is. And maybe honestly, that's where my mind is right now. I'm taking a year off. But I wonder if I will get to the point where it's not taking a year off. I just don't drink anymore. And I think that after a year, you know, if we continue with the progression that we're getting on this current programming, it will make it really easy to kind of go like, well, why would I slip back into that?
Right.
Like, look how far we've come, kind of, you know?
Right. Where it would be beneath you. And the other thing too, is it's like, you know, I talk about, it's not about just the abstinence. It's not just about that. It's about creating a life that you do not need something to make it better.
I think filling it with stuff though, that filling your day is important as well. Like, I mean, Jordan Peterson, is that the guy you ever seen? Fucking guy's always saying smart shit, you know?
Yeah, he says a lot of smart shit.
He was talking about how you have to quit drinking. And he's like, you can't just quit drinking because there's going to be a huge void where drinking was, right? And that's where when I've quit drinking before, it always requires me to stay away from my friends. We stay away from all my buddies, all my drinking buddies, right? So that's the way I would do it. I just go away. Well, you know, and what he's basically was saying is like, you have to fill the void with something, whatever it is, whether it's working out, you know, a hobby, whatever. And I've realized that that's really important to not drinking.
Yeah. So that's, and this is just my own experience, not necessarily like it's for like how everybody is, but a lot of guys that I know where at first it is about filling the void. And then it becomes that all of that stuff becomes less important. Filling that void becomes less important.
Well, I will tell you this, when you are sober and you see how drunk people act and the fights that come from it, all the chaos and all the shit on a Friday night, it's just, I mean, we're just talking like, dude, if you go to Huntington Beach Friday night, what's going on out there at fucking midnight and, you know, 1 a.m?
Yeah.
It's pandemonium. And you see all that shit. And definitely as a dude that's, you know, up to where my age is, like that doesn't appeal at all anymore. Right. So for a lot of years, I've been just a daytime drinker. You know, that whole nighttime like chaos shit, it hasn't appealed to me for quite some time. But, you know, having a couple beers on the golf course and shit is kind of who I've become as I age. You know what I mean? So I guess what I'm getting at is if you've already see that kind of change as you age, I think the next step is much easier. If you're no longer that party guy anyway,
right?
You're not chasing that, I think it gets really easy because, daytime drinking that's hardly even real drinking. That's just, you could have 6 beers and drive in the daytime. I think it's legal. If I remember right, like 6 or 7, I don't remember what it is, 6 or 10. I don't remember 6, 10 beers, daytime driving. If you're drunk in the daytime and driving, I think it's legal is what it is. Is that what it is?
I got my last DUI was in the daytime.
Was it?
Yeah.
That cop was a dick then. I blame him. I don't blame you. I blame the fucking cop.
Yeah.
That's not your fault.
Something wrong with the breathalyzer machine.
That's really not your fault. What are you supposed to do? It's the daytime. Oh, so I was going to tell you that about drinking. This is when I knew I was like good at drinking. One time, me and my buddy, we were young still. We may have just turned 21. And, we go to like BJ's and split probably like 5 pitchers between the two of us and then split an 18 pack. And I got pulled over and breathalyzed and let go.
Really?
Passed a breathalyzer with that much beer. And I was only 21. So I'd only been drinking at that point for like 6 years. You know what I'm saying? So that I think was.
There's no way you passed a breathalyzer.
You think he just let a drunk guy go?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense though.
I've been let go. I've had times where I knew the cop knew I was fucked up
and just said fuck it.
Yeah, I had a time when I had my dog in the car.
Yeah, and he's like, "What am I going to do with this dog?
Yeah, what am I going to do with the dog?
I'm going to call the canine. I got to call the animal control out here and all that shit. I don't want to do.
I'm pretty sure I had like a pound of weed in the car too.
I'm going to let him go, and if somebody dies, then fuck it, I'll sleep soundly at night, no matter what.
Yeah, I think he. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I can remember. Yeah, I remember a time when I was coming back from Rockford, Michigan.
A pound of weed?
Easily. I always traveled heavy.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I would always travel with a ton of, I don't know why I always wanted so much weed on me.
Baller shit, just balling.
I always had so much weed on me.
Just balling.
Like an outrageous amount of weed on me.
Dude. I'm always like the guy that like is getting the roach out of the ashtray.
Yeah, I was.
Hey, who's anybody? What, you got an ashtray around here?
I think I liked traveling deep with stuff in my car. Well, I think I like the feeling.
It's a quick way to make friends. I saw something recently. It was like, the guy's like, "How do I make friends?" He's like, "Go to the party with a fucking bag of Coke.
Yeah,
show up to the party with a bag of Coke and be very liberal with it. You're gonna make friends. You're gonna make friends fast.
Yeah, those are great friends.
You know what I mean? For the night they are.
Yeah.
For the night there, you just don't want them to know where you live. You just don't want those friends to know where you live.
Yeah, I liked being the guy that would like roll blunt after blunt after blunt, places and just keep it going.
Yeah. Well, were you living in Detroit at the time?
That time would have been West Michigan, but when I was in East Michigan, not so much because Max was just born.
Okay.
So I just kept what I wanted to smoke when I was getting back from the dealership.
Were you a fan of the Insane Clown Posse?
No.
Yeah, I thought that was sort of a staple up there.
Well,
I thought if you live in Michigan, you have to listen to Insane Clown Posse.
If you drive like a Ford Probe and
okay,
live in your mom's basement.
So you never went to an Insane Clown Posse?
I've never been to one.
Wow.
You know my style.
I'm just asking. I know people from up that way, and they seem like nice people too. Just like yourself, nice, normal humans.
Yeah.
But they've been to Insane Clown Posse shows, and that is something that I just won't stand for.
No.
I'll take the mic off right now and get out of here. I was just checking.
No, I don't like the Insane Clown Posse.
I never heard them. I put them right in the same category as Morgan Wallen. I've never even heard them. The only time I did hear a Morgan Wallen song was I used to what I do is a little bit back to music real quick, but one of the things I used to like to challenge myself to do is just put on a song I'd never heard before, like a generic style song. You know how it is. Almost every song follows that pattern.
Yeah, of course.
You got the intro, you got the verse, you got a chorus, chorus, fucking bridge, fucking outro.
Yeah.
So I always would take what I thought was a kind of just an easy song like that, never listen to it, put it on and see if I can play the drums all the way through. No problem, right? And so somebody's like, do it with a Morgan Wallen song. So I just went and randomly clicked the song and just tried to see if I could do it.
Did you do it?
I fucking nailed it.
Nailed it.
Absolutely fucking nailed it. You would have thought I heard the song 100 fucking times before, drove down the street, singing that shit, boot scoot, whatever the fuck he does. I don't know what his song sound like. Does it say boot scoot in it?
Yeah, I don't think it's like
nobody boot scoots anymore. See, that's my problem with this. That's my problem with this new style of country music.
Ball cap country.
They wear sneakers. These guys wear sneakers. They don't boot scoot. You can't scoot in sneakers. You get too much traction.
No, you're squeaking.
You're squeaking and sneaking, bro. You're squeaking and sneaking, bro. Nobody's boot scooting anymore. You know what I'm saying? That is where I like Alan Jackson country. Yeah. You know, so I like to get in the golf cart. Sun's going down, dude. Me and my old lady just cruising around with the dog. You're just listening to Alan Jackson. You know.
Do you wear cowboy boots?
I like a boot that has a solid sole. I don't like a heel. So I have like a pair of like Lucchese boots. I go ostrich. I'm an ostrich guy.
I just bought a pair of Lucchese's.
I like ostrich. So I run the V-rim sole on them. So I got like a sick pair of like ostrich boots, but they have like a solid sole. And then I run like a pair of like Tacovas. Tacovas, I like their boots.
Mm-hmm. I have some Tacovas.
And I run a solid sole on there. The heel makes me feel fucking weird. And maybe maybe that's a fat guy thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, my Lucchese's it's a straight up fucking cowboy boot.
That boot. Dude, when I put that, so I bought that boot. My buddy's a boot guy, one of my best buddies. I was telling you about him earlier, the guy that wears the tight Wranglers, dude. He's the man. Guy's a boot guy, and he's got a boot collection, you know, and he's he knows his shit. So I bought that pair of boots, and he's like, fuck, you fucking ponied up for a pair of boots like that. And I'm like, yeah, fuck it. It's what I was.
What, on Lucchese's?
Yeah.
Like $1,300, right?
It wasn't quite like that, but it was, it was up there. So he's like, fuck, you ponied up for that. He's like, you're going to really like those boots.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, there's nothing like those boots. There's nothing out there like those boots. He's like, the same guy made those boots from beginning to end. There's no assembly line.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
And I was kind of just like, oh, okay, whatever. I thought he was just, he's my hype man. He's always been. So I just figured he's hyped me up, when you put that fucking boot on, I know you know what I'm talking about. When you put that boot on, there's nothing. You've never felt another boot that feels like that.
I wore my new Lucchese's last 2 nights ago out to dinner with Freddie, and they're like already broken in. They're already all set to go.
How do they do that?
I have no clue.
It's insane, right?
But yeah, they once you get them on, they're so comfortable. They fit your foot like that. You've been wearing them for years. Yep. And they're like thick leather. They're black cherry. They're fucking
I go with ostrich,
boots.
and I put ostrich on everything. My Harley has ostrich on the seat. My dune buggy has ostrich in the seat. My boots are ostrich, and I've always done that for a reason. In my mind, when you see a guy with ostrich, you know for sure he has drugs in his pocket. You know what I mean?
Oh,
it sends a message. Ostrich says I have drugs.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? And I always like that about ostrich. You know what I'm saying? But one of the byproducts of it is I also just like the way the ostrich looks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I run it everywhere, dude. Every fucking Harley seat, I put ostrich on it and sends a message. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My buddy, Cody wants me to get some, this other brand. I forget the name of it. But he wants me to do some ostrich.
Give him a run. Are you going to go with some ostrich?
Yeah.
I love them, dude.
But those are all custom.
You want to get to the next level. You want to really start going to some of those ball cap country concerts and getting dialed in there. You match your belt material to your boot material. That's what my buddy does. I seen him do some shit like that when he's really trying to dial it in.
Yeah.
It's a sharp look, bro.
Well, I have a belt that's the same material as my ropers.
You run a tucked in shirt
right now?
Anytime. Like you going out for the night, you tuck in?
I tuck in like a wife beater.
Yeah, fat guys can't tuck in. When you're too fat, see, that's that's what people, wouldn't even understand that being a goal. I want to get to a point where I could tuck a shirt in. You know what I'm saying?
It like just sits flat.
Yeah, like it looks right. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like as a fat guy, you tuck your shirt in and you just have, you could see the overflowing like muffin top. Yeah. And it's like,
I always wear Western belts. Like this is a Stetson belt that I'm wearing right now. So I like to show the buckle. So I'll like go like a front tuck look. But I get it, because I would never tuck when I had a
full
gut.
Tuck. You don't want a full tuck.
Well, yeah, a full tuck's like you're going to church, or
Well, you want to look good.
Yeah,
if you want to look good.
No, I don't really do a full tuck, unless I'm wearing like a tighter shirt or like a wife beater with like a shirt over top of it unbuttoned.
That's what I'm going to actually. That's my new goal, to be able to go full tuck all the way around. Yeah, with a belt and a buckle.
Even your golf stuff, you don't tuck in your golf shirts.
I never tuck. I never tuck in a shirt.
Yeah, that's the thing. I
can't do it as a fat guy. And if you were to go tucked in with a belt buckle, as a fat guy, that buckles anytime you sit down, that thing's just digging in. Oh, it's digging into the whole night. You're sitting there at dinner, everyone's having a good time, and all you're thinking about is, when can I get this fucking goddamn belt buckle out of my belly? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. And I've always worn belt buckles.
You always have?
Even as a fat guy.
You toughed it out.
But I always had like a little fucking like divot in my
yeah. Not me, bro. I say no way. Yeah. I'm still on like I for a lot of years I just use shoestring. I just get a shoestring and just cinch that thing up, dude. I don't need that, dude. I don't need that indentation in my life, dude. You know what I'm saying?
So we're gonna get you in a belt buckle.
A belt buckle, a tucked in shirt,
tight Wranglers.
Tight Wranglers, dude.
Tube socket or what would you call it? Side scope?
Side pipe.
Side pipe.
We can side pipe it, dude. I got a long way to go. We're still a long way away from that goal, bro.
But I can't wait to see it.
We're a long way away, dude. I'm still in the 300s. I'm still pretty much. I'm not super bummed though. My stats are that of like an NFL center right now. 6'3", 300 pounds, and I always tell people I fight at 299. And I will tell you why I do that. You remember Bull Hurley from Over the Top, the villain, bald guy, arm wrestler?
Oh yeah.
6'3", 299. Those were his stats. So I was always like, that's a good weight for me. 299.
But he was fat.
Yeah, I know. I realize that now. I was like, that's not really the ideal go. But as a kid, I was 11, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta understand. Like, these are the dreams of an 11-year-old.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I also that was my backup plan. We were talking about music earlier. I always thought if I didn't make it in music, I'd be a professional arm wrestler.
Professional arm wrestler.
Yeah, that was the only backup plan I had. Oh. I was either going to be a fucking drummer or I was going to be a professional arm wrestler, and everything else was basically off the table.
Yeah, you didn't want to run those in conjunction though, because arm wrestling would end drumming.
It's not ideal. But I never see the thing is I never lose, man. I've never lost, but I also don't arm wrestle anyone I think can beat me.
You pick your fights.
I'm Floyd Mayweather of arm wrestling, bro. I fucking pluck them out. I pick the right guys, dude. You know what I'm saying? 130 pound. 5'5", 130 pound dude wants to arm wrestle. I'll fucking put his hand through the table, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You got to go and throw shots at Floyd. He's from.
I love Floyd Mayweather.
He's from my hometown.
By the way, I love Floyd Mayweather. I don't know why I threw him out there. I'm a big fan. I don't think people understand what it takes.
He's from my hometown.
That kind of work ethic of a guy like that to work. I have these conversations with people all the time. We've all become such like couch critics of athletes. And this ties into exactly what we're talking about. The dedication and the discipline that it takes to work as hard and as long at a craft as Floyd Mayweather did for his entire fucking life. Every fucking day, this guy would have got up and trained. And you can say whatever you want about him plucking up fights or whatever the fuck you want. That he still put in more work in probably a year than most people will have in a lifetime.
Yep.
So
and never lost.
I wasn't bringing up Floyd as like he's no good. I just threw it in there for the joke. By the way, I just threw it in for the joke. But I'm a huge fan of anyone like that. Even LeBron, who I'm more of a Kobe guy when it comes to sports like that. But you still gotta understand like what the work ethic it takes to do shit like that. And people that sit on a couch and don't do anything, or
they're the ones that talk the most.
Because that's all they can do. That's all you can do is talk. When you get to that point where you don't put in any work, you're not at the gym, you're not fucking eating, you're not doing anything right to get to that's the only tool you have is being able to talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the level of like disrespect that pro athletes get from the internet, Instagram, it's given it the platform that has been provided for the couch critic blows my mind.
Oh yeah.
It's insane, dude. Everybody always has something to say. I'm sure you get it all the time. Just being in any sort of public eye at all, people always have something to say.
Oh yeah.
But nobody wants to do any of the work that it takes to even compete. Say they want to do what you do and compete at what you do or anything. It's all just sitting around and talking shit.
I saw a guy the other day that had said something, some shitty stuff to me in the comments, and I saw him in person, right outside at Prime Cut, right on PCH and Fifth.
Yeah,
and he was sucking my dick. Hey, trying to like know me. He was with a buddy and all of that.
You knew for sure it was the same. You knew it was.
Of course, I knew who it was.
And you just played it cool. Fuck it, no big deal.
Yeah, it was nice to him.
Yeah. Why not? Who cares?
Yeah, I don't even fuck. Who cares?
See, that's the thing. When life is going good for you, when everything's hitting on all cylinders, you have no reason not to be nice.
I don't know.
No matter what people say, no matter what they do, like the only time you're going to combat it or come back at it is when you're in a bad place too. When you're in a good place, confrontation is complete waste of time.
No, yeah.
It's pretty much useless unless, of course, obviously we're not talking about something different, your life being in danger. That's obviously different, but people can do and say whatever they want. When things are going good for you, you almost again, another stupid ass cliche thing, but you need some haters.
Yeah.
You need some people kind of hating.
Oh yeah. That's not even, that's honestly at this point, it's so funny because I do more ignoring it than anything.
Yeah.
But I truly I just don't care. Like
I did that once though. I talked shit to a guy that I saw in person, and I didn't say anything to him at all. By the way, I didn't go up and pretend to be friends with him or anything. I just didn't say anything. But part of me wanted to tell him I was the guy that talked that shit. So at least just so he knew, because that's just how I am. Not necessarily as like a combative thing, like a not like as a
yeah. I was like, I'll say it to your face,
not to stir up shit thing, just to say that I'm the type of person that would still say it. But he was like with his chick and stuff, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense to go up to him and tell him in front of his chick, hey, I'm the guy that said that shit.
Your bike sucks, or
yeah, whatever it was. I don't know. It doesn't even matter what it was. A guy in a band, by the way.
Oh,
and I was in Nashville, and I saw he was at the same hotel as me. And I basically, had clowned his skills as a musician or whatever. And I even told my old lady, I was like, normally I would let him know I'm the guy. Hey, I'm the guy that said that, But I'm like, dude, he's here with his wife. Like, he's getting his bags ready. He's checking out. Like, I'm just gonna interrupt his.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I started thinking about how stupid that was to even think that he cared what some random dude who's not even in the music industry hardly at all has. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to like check yourself and like, bro, you're not. Nobody cares what you're saying sometimes, So I think when you live in your own little world, like I'm the star of my own movie, right? And my guy at work always tells me that. He's like, you're the star. You think you're the star of the show. I'm like, well, this is my movie.
Yeah.
So I am the star.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you're nobody to somebody else's movie. You're nobody at all, So
yeah, then you might as well make the best out of yours.
Look, I mean, if you're not gonna look, I've been in some dark and terrible places, man. I've had it like the injury I told you about. There was a time in my life I was very alone. And I learned a lesson there. Like, you got to be your own biggest fan, and you got to look out for yourself first all the time. And I'm not saying this as again, this is not a poor me thing, but what you find out is when shit hits the fan for you, nobody's there.
Right.
And it's not there. They're not there because they don't care about you and because they're not your friends, and but they all got their own fucking problems too. You find out like your friends were going through different shit and other things were hitting them hard in life at the same time too. And because you were going through so much, you also weren't there for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was in such a dark place, going through so much turmoil, sitting there for so long thinking like, where the fuck are all my people? Poor me, poor. And then you kind of snap out of it and you realize like, dude, every single person that wasn't there wasn't going through peaches and cream either. They all had their issues. And although yours seemed like the hugest fucking issue, their issues were pretty fucking big in their world as well.
Right.
And so that's why I am extremely selfish when it comes to just life, is because I realize that.
And I think too, people need to realize that in that same respect, like when you think that people care about what you're doing or saying and things like that, they probably don't.
All right, guys, here's the gist of it. Listen, we came out here, we had a great time. We had a workout. We talked about nutrition. We talked about fitness goals, and we talked about the direction you want to go in life, right? Now, here's the thing about that shit. You can't do that shit by yourself. You got to surround yourself with the right people, right? You need good coaching. You need positive influences, right? So here's the deal. Line yourself up, whoever it is, line yourself up with somebody that actually knows what the fuck they're talking about. I don't give a fuck where you're from, who you feel most comfortable with. I identify with you because you've been through a lot of the same shit I've been through. Addict, grossly overweight. Your transformation is fucking huge, and so I identified with that, right? I needed a huge transformation. So you reach out to whoever appeals to your style. I say the same with tattoo artists. I mean, there's a bunch of good tattoo artists, but my guy is my friend, and we sit and bullshit for fucking 8 hours, and I don't know what the fuck he's doing there most of the time. I just getting some shit put in there where we had told a bunch of jokes. But if you get somebody you identify with, you get with the right people, and you put in the work, you don't have to be fat. You don't have to settle for being fat. You don't have to settle for being obese. You can fix it. If I can fix it for the 5th time, anybody can fix it. You know what I mean? And I think was kind of the point that I wanted to spend some time with you and obviously get out, is that it's doable, man. So
I take your transformation personal. Like I said, the amount, like how we relate to each other and the parallels in this situation are. I like it because I see my own victories, losses, troubles, and everything along the way. So this has been a really encouraging and fun transformation to be a part of.
Dude, the more we hang out, the more we realize. I mean, even musically, we listen to the same shit. Like,
yeah,
it's
same
like
style of musician,
same style of bands, all kinds of same shit. It's like. There's
I bet you we could not have ever played together, which we never have. and probably have a pretty killer rhythm section.
Look, I'm telling you right now, dude, find us a couple of guitar players and let's just play like once a year.
We just need one guitar player.
Get a guitar player and a good front man, 4-piece band with a good front man, and just play like once a year. That'd be ideal for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to do too many shows.
You don't want to load up.
Every time I had to load up, I feel like I should have played harmonica. You know what I'm saying? So.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this, make sure you subscribe. This podcast was all over the place, but it was a lot of fun. And thank you for showing up to this one.
Happy to be here, man. It's a great place.
Yep. We'll catch you guys next time on the Justin Wenzel podcast.
Excellent.
This was fun.